welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brookelynne, and it's really early in the morning right now. It's actually before I go into work. It's like 7 something, yeah, 7:49, and I had a few extra minutes before I had to go to work, and I was like, well, you know what? I really want to get a video up today, so I'm gonna go ahead and film whatever I get filmed. That's what's gonna go up today. But today I thought we could do really quickly one of my rating every ride in a park video. I've done this for Magic Kingdom and for Animal Kingdom, and today we're gonna do my favorite, which is Hollywood Studios. Okay, I'm just now realizing they've changed the My Disney Experience app. Wait, let me screen record this and I'll put it in. That's insane. Like the top where you like look through the different things is different now. It's like a swipe instead of a, and then like, whoa, and then like you can change the locations differently. This is insane, y'all. We'll have to do a whole like something on this because that's crazy. But anyway, time is of the essence. We're going over to Hollywood Studios, and we're gonna start with my favorite ride in the whole park, which is Tower of Terror, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. If you didn't know, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is a thrill ride where you go into the hotel and you essentially are taken into the Twilight Zone. It is a dropping ride, so you go up and drop, but you actually don't drop. The mechanics of the ride actually pull you down, so you're falling faster than gravity. So I personally don't get that like pit in my stomach of when like you're free falling, because you're not free falling. You're going so fast, you don't get that. But it's so thrilling. It's so fun. I love the story behind it. The movie that they made in the 90s is like one of my like all-time favorite like spooky movies. Love it. So I definitely give the Tower of Terror 10 out of 10. Even if you're scared, try it once. Just once. If you don't like it, you don't have to ever ride it again. But this cannot be the ride that you say, oh, I'm not riding that because I'm scared. No, you have to try it at least once. Now, right beside Tower of Terror is our second ride for this little ride ranking or rating. And it's one that I have mixed feelings about. It's Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. It is is it the fastest roller coaster in Disney? It might not be the fastest, but I do know it's the only one that goes upside down, which makes it super thrilling. However, it does have a really hard launch at the beginning. And there's a bunch of warnings that if you have any neck problems, back problems, anything like that, heart problems, do not ride it. I really didn't think anything of that, and I rode it. And if you didn't know, fun fact, I broke my neck when I was 6, and we didn't find out till I was 20. But I have part of my C5 vertebrae missing. So my neck gets like tweaked really easily, and on this ride, since it launches so fast at the beginning, you really have to hold your head back against the seat really hard. Or if you have it even like a little bit off or aren't like holding it there, you're just laying it there, when you go, it snaps your neck. And the first time I rode this, it hurt so bad. And my mom loves roller coasters. She's like a big thrill seeker like me, and it hurt her neck too, so she won't even ride it anymore. So definitely something to look out for. If it didn't do that, I would give it a 10 out of 10. But because it does that, I think I have to give it 8 out of 10 just because it's not enjoyable when you're in pain. So 8 out of 10. All right, now we're gonna go head over to the Chinese Theater, and in the Chinese Theater is our next ride/attraction, which is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is a trackless ride, so it's like you're moving all by magnetics. It's really cool. But you essentially are going to watch a film with about like Mickey and Minnie and Goofy and everyone, and some chaos ensues, and somehow Pluto and so Pluto, I'm pretty sure, he somehow gets a pie stuck in the train like thing that the smoke comes out of, that Goofy is riding, and it blows up this little like underpass, and it blows a hole in the movie. And we get to go into the cartoon, and you're supposed to be having just like a lovely ride through the park and the train with Goofy. But Mickey accidentally hits a track switch and chaos ensues. It's super fun, very loud. So if you don't like loud noises, maybe not, but it's a super fun one that I personally like to do. The only downside is the wait time, because it is so enjoyable and so family friendly. It can get kind of crazy, like an hour, which I know is not crazy, like considering other rides that have like crazy wait times, but it's something that I usually only will wait 30 minutes for, because the queue, I don't know what it is about that queue, but it feels like it takes so much longer to get through than it actually does. So because of that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Otherwise, love it. Now, if you go back behind the Chinese theater, you are going to be entering Toy Story Land. Now, Toy Story Land is obviously a land themed after Toy Story. You see characters such as Woody, Buzz, Bo Peep, Rex, and the whole gang. And there are three rides in Toy Story Land. The first one that you're going to pass is going to be Toy Story Mania. This is a game style ride, very similar to Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin over in Magic Kingdom. Except for I like this one better because it doesn't have like a button you have to press. It has a ball on a string and you like are like slingshotting almost. It's so much better, so much easier. I personally am pretty good at it, so take that for what it is. It is another one that has a crazy wait. Pretty much all of them Hollywood Studios has really long waits because it doesn't have that many rides, and all the rides are really enjoyable. Except for like one or two that have low wait times. So because of the wait times and how hot it is over in Toy Story Land when you're waiting, and I'm not a kid, so like the game aspect's not as enjoyable as it could be, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Toy Story Mania, 7 out of 10. Now, the main attraction in Toy Story Land is right across from Toy Story Mania, and you actually see it the minute you enter Toy Story Land from any angle, and that is going to be Slinky Dog Dash. Now, this is a kiddie coaster. It does have a height requirement of, let me check, has a height requirement of 38 inches, so like a pretty short height requirement, but height requirement nonetheless. But it's essentially a roller coaster, and the car or the coaster that you're in is Slinky Dog from Toy Story. And you're going through a little like roller coaster track that Andy has created. It's super fun. There's no like crazy fast turns. There's no like crazy drops. There's no like upside down. It has like a nice little bloom bloom. But it's enjoyable, and like me and my family still go on it whenever it has a low wait time. So it's really enjoyable for adults as well. However, there is absolutely no shade, hardly at all, in this wait line. And this line is usually the longest in the park. And especially, I don't know why, Toy Story Land is my like least favorite land because it's so hot. But I've started waiting in that line and had to get out because I started feeling nauseous because it was just way too hot. So if you're going to wait in that line, just be prepared. Bring water, bring a portable fan, bring an umbrella to put over you to shade you from the sun, because it's no joke, guys. So just purely because the fact that I cannot stand the queue, and the queue is not really interactive. It's literally just a bunch of cardboard boxes. Or it looks like cardboard boxes because it's supposed to be like Andy's made it, but it's just not enjoyable for anyone. So because of that, I have to give Slinky Dog Dash, it would be a 9 out of 10, but I think I have to give it a 7. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because I just cannot stand the queue. All right, guys, I'm going through these really fast because I want to be able to get this finished before I leave for work today. But up next is going to be Alien Swirling Saucers. This is probably like the least popular one in Toy Story Land. It's essentially like the teacups, except for you don't get to spin yourself. It reminds me of like teacups and bumper cars smushed together, if that makes sense. But essentially, the aliens from Pizza Planet, the little green guys, they are in these little these little saucers, and you're in a little saucer behind them, and they are swinging you around everywhere and swirling you around. It's super fun. It does not really have, it has like a little buckle to buckle you in. I've ridden this with people who are skinnier than me, and it's like all one, clip. And so they are literally like flying around because it like is too loose on them, and I felt so bad. And then I've ridden on it when I was the one who was a little bit smaller and I was flying around. So it's best if you ride this with someone of similar size to you, or else someone is going to get crushed. The wait time for this one's usually pretty good. Like I said, if you don't like twirling rides, like circular motion, not good for you. You're gonna get sick. But other than that, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Now, as you leave Toy Story Land, you are gonna head over on into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This is a land themed to Star Wars, obviously, and you are entering into the planet of Batuu, I think is what it's called. And it's like a smuggler's trade area. If someone else has a better description of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, let me know down below, but that's my description of it. I'm not really a huge Star Wars nerd. I did just rewatch all the movies though, so I'm trying to get there. But There are 2 rides in Galaxy's Edge. The first one is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. In front of this is where there's the huge Millennium Falcon that everyone takes pictures in front of, and then back behind it you have the ride, which is actually a motion simulator ride slash game. It's like you're playing a video game, but the video game is the ride. You sit in a chair and you're assigned different roles, and there are buttons on the walls that you press and like handles that you move to move your Millennium Falcon to try to smuggle what's called coaxium, something like that. Like you're trying to get something for a collector or something, and you are actually controlling the simulation. So if you run into the wall with your little stick, the whole thing is going to shake. It's really fun. That's one of the rides that I got stuck on, and I was stuck on it for like 40 minutes while they were trying to, because they had like, it's like in a circle, kind of a carousel kind of thing, and that's how you move around the carousel as your simulation goes, so that you end up back where you get off. But we like had to like rotate through everything, and it took forever to get off. This one does have a single rider line, and the single rider line is perfect. I can get on in less than 5 minutes. So just because of that, it's a really quick, fun thing to do. And if you're okay with doing it alone, you don't have to wait the super long line. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. All right, guys. Now the main attraction that for Star Wars fans in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. This is a ride where you are taken literally into the story. You are a rebel spy, and you like go through the queue. You get on a transport and go to another. You're like trying to escape something, and while you're doing that, you get caught by the First Order. You walk into this room. There's a bunch of stormtroopers everywhere. All of the cast members are dressed like First Order officers. You end up going into interrogation. You're interrogated, and then the Resistance comes and rescues you, and you're taken through a trackless ride. There is a drop. There is like so much going on. It's so amazing. I can't even describe it in words, and I don't want to spoil anything. But this one, they did just introduce a single rider option. I've not tried it yet, but once I do, I'll let y'all know. But for the time being, since I haven't tried that, and the only time I've done it is when I've had to wait really long, it gets a 9 out of 10. Okay, guys, and I'm not going to do any shows or anything like that. So like Muppet Vision 3D, I love. It gets a 10 out of 10 from me. I'm going to just go ahead and say that, but I'm not going to like waste a bunch of time talking about it because it's not a ride, okay? But Muppet Vision 3D, I see you. You are seen. You are heard. 10 out of 10. But the last like actual ride for Hollywood Studios is going to be Star Wars. Sorry, not Star Wars. Star Tours, which is another simulation ride. Disney really likes their simulation rides at Hollywood Studios, which makes sense because it's Hollywood. But essentially, in Star Tours, I love the queue. The queue is, if you didn't know, most of Hollywood Studios is supposed to look like a backlot of a Hollywood studio. And Star Tours definitely gets that. You see the scaffolding, you see like, it looks like you're walking onto a set for a Star Wars movie in the queue, and then you get inside, and then it transforms into a like airport hangar almost. And you are going on a tour through the galaxy. It's supposed to be really chill. C-3PO, while you're waiting to get onto your spaceship, you see that C-3PO is like, asked the captain to like get off to like, so he could check something. We all board, and somehow the captain didn't get back, and C-3PO and R2-D2 are stuck flying you through space. But then the First Order comes, and there's a spy on board, and then you have to try to help the Resistance and help the spy get to where they need to go. It's so much fun. It is a simulation. You are strapped in with a seatbelt, and you're like in like a seat. It literally feels like you're like on an airplane, almost. So your actual individual seat does not move, but the whole like enclosure moves. I personally love this. Every single time you ride it, it will be different because it is randomized sequences of events. I think there's like anywhere from 3 to 5 different like parts to it, and then it puts in a random scene for each of those parts to create your own individual experience. It is 4D. It is great. I love it. It's something that I ride multiple times every time I go, and the wait time is usually like 5 to 20 minutes, if that. So I give Star Tours a 10 out of 10. All right, guys, I know that was a super, super, super fast little rundown, but I kind of want, like I said, I just wanted to get something filmed before I went to work today, so that after work I can get it edited and then out to you guys. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what your favorite ride at Hollywood Studio is. Let me know if you agree with my rankings or ratings, and let me know if you don't. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're not already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all the content that will be coming soon, and I will catch y'all in the next video.